Good morning, family. And we know that all things work together for good to them who love God and who are called according to his purpose. In these times in which we're living, I know these are tough times. And somebody I'm speaking to this morning, you're watching this devotion, you may be going through a tough time in your life. Things may not be going as you like for them to go, dealing with some sickness, some relationship problems, some employment issue, whatever the case may be. Just remember that God is a God who always, if you trust in him and your life is rooted in him, he'll bring good out of bad. And he's always able to take the good and the bad and work it out for our good. This is a broken world in which we live. And it's evident by what we see on the news, what's happening all across our world. But I want to let you know today that God is still sovereign. Everything is in the Lord's hands. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 14, Solomon said, "In the day of prosperity, be happy. But in the day of adversity, consider God has made the one as well as the other, so that man would not discover anything that would be after him." Solomon said, God made you. God made what? God made you. God made the other person. God made the person that's doing right, and God made the person that's doing bad. So what he says, what? God works it out. The wheat and the tares, Jesus said, will grow together. In the end, God will do the separating. It is just our job to keep trusting God, keep loving those who are different from us, to keep doing what's right in the eyes of the Lord. And just remember, God has a plan. God's got a global plan. God's got a circumstantial plan. But God also has a personal plan for your life. And in the midst of all of your circumstances, and in the midst of God's global plan for this world, his plan for Ukraine, his plan for the people in Buffalo, Uvalde, his plan for people all across this nation, his plan for America. Just remember, God's got a plan. And in the midst of God's global plan, and in the midst of the circumstances of life, God is going to allow his personal plan for your life to come to pass. You'll realize that if you trust him with all of your heart, lean not to your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him. He'll direct your path. So put your hand in God's hands. Don't be sidetracked. And don't allow your faith to waver in the midst of what we see on the news, in the midst of what's happening around us. Just remember, he's sovereign. He's got a global plan. But in the midst of it all, he is causing your creative purpose to come to pass. God bless you. God love you. Walk by faith, not by sight. Keep your eye on the prize. Let God bring that plan for your life into fruition. Don't waver by what's happening around you and the circumstances of life. God's got you. God bless you, and may God keep you, and have